Unleashing the power within, faith, resilience, and triumph in the face of adversity. Have you ever felt like you were standing at the edge of an abyss, staring into the depths of an impossible challenge? Have you ever wondered where you could find the strength to take that next step when every fiber of your being screamed that you couldn't go on? Today, I want to take you on a journey that will challenge everything you thought you knew about human resilience, success, and the true source of our strength. I recently had the profound privilege of speaking with Charlene Mcmillan, a woman whose story will shake you to your core and inspire you to redefine what's possible in your own life. Charlene isn't just a survivor, she's a warrior who has stared death in the face and emerged not just alive, but triumphant. Her battle with cancer has transformed her into a beacon of hope, a living testament to the power of faith, and a force for positive change in our world. Charlene's insights have the power to revolutionize how we approach life's greatest challenges. Her wisdom, born from the crucible of her experiences, offers us a new paradigm for success, resilience, and personal growth. But I warn you, what I'm about to share may challenge your beliefs, push you out of your comfort zone, and force you to confront some uncomfortable truths about the limits we place on ourselves. Are you ready to have your world turned upside down? Are you prepared to question everything you thought you knew about strength and success? Then lean in, because what I learned from Charlene has the power to change not just your life, but the very fabric of our society. The central theme that emerged from my conversation with Charlene is both simple and profound. Our greatest strength, our most powerful ally in times of crisis, is not found within ourselves alone, but in our relationship with something greater than ourselves. Now, I can almost hear the skeptics among you bristling at this idea. In a world that constantly preaches self reliance and individual grit, the notion that our true power comes from outside ourselves might seem counterintuitive, even weak. But I implore you to suspend your disbelief for just a moment and consider the possibility that everything you've been taught about success and resilience might be incomplete. Charlene's journey through the valley of the shadow of death taught her a truth that many of us spend our entire lives trying to grasp. While self care and perseverance are crucial, there's an even more fundamental source of strength. For Charlene, this source was her relationship with God. She discovered that without Him, we are nothing, but through Christ, we can do all things. Now, before you dismiss this as mere religious platitude, let me be clear. This principle transcends any specific faith or belief system. It's about recognizing that we are part of something larger than ourselves, whether that's a higher power, a community, or a greater purpose. It's about understanding that true strength comes from connection, not isolation. Think about it. How many times have you pushed yourself to the brink, relying solely on your own willpower, only to find yourself exhausted, burnt out, and no closer to your goals? How often have you felt the crushing weight of your challenges bearing down on you, convinced that you have to face them alone? Charlene's experience challenges us to consider a different way. Her faith didn't diminish her own efforts or resilience, instead, it amplified them, giving her a wellspring of hope and strength to draw from when her own reserves ran dry. It provided her with a perspective that transformed her outlook on her illness from a death sentence to an opportunity for growth and impact. But let's move beyond the realm of personal crisis and consider how this principle applies to our professional lives, our relationships, and our pursuit of success. To illustrate this, I want to share with you the stories of three remarkable individuals who have embodied this truth in their own journeys to the top of their fields. First, let me tell you about Lillian Lincoln Lambert. Imagine, if you will, a young black woman in the 1960s daring to dream of attending Harvard Business School. The odds were stacked against her in ways that many of us can scarcely comprehend today. Racial barriers, gender discrimination, societal expectations, all of these stood as formidable obstacles between Lillian and her dreams. But Lillian had something powerful on her side, an unshakable faith that gave her the courage to pursue what seemed impossible. In 1969, Lillian became the first black woman to earn an MBA from Harvard Business School. But her story doesn't end there. Lillian went on to found Centennial One, a building services company that she grew to $20 million in revenue before selling it in 2001. Now, you might be thinking, that's impressive, but what does it have to do with relying on something greater than yourself? Here's the key. Lillian's faith didn't just get her through Harvard, it gave her the audacity to dream bigger than her circumstances, the resilience to persevere when others might have given up, and the vision to create opportunities not just for herself, but for others. By co-founding the African American Student Union at Harvard Business School, Lillian created a legacy that continues to open doors for black students today. Her success wasn't just about personal achievement, it was about connecting to a purpose greater than herself and using her faith as a catalyst for change. Now, let's turn to Thasunda Brown Duckett, the CEO of TIA and former CEO of Chase Consumer Banking. In an industry dominated by men, particularly at the highest levels, Thasunda has shattered glass ceilings and redefined what's possible for black women in corporate America. But Thasunda's rise to the top wasn't fueled by ambition alone. Like Charlene and Lillian, Thasunda attributes her success to her faith and her perseverance. Her belief in something greater than herself gave her the courage to step into rooms where she was often the only woman, the only person of color, and to not just hold her own, but to excel. Thasunda's story teaches us that when we face obstacles that seem insurmountable, our faith can be the bridge that carries us over. It reminds us that true leadership isn't just about personal success. It's about creating a path for others to follow. Thasunda's achievements have opened doors and inspired countless other black professionals to aspire to the highest echelons of corporate America. Finally, let's consider the story of Robert F. Smith, founder and CEO of Vista Equity Partners. Robert's journey began in chemical engineering, but his faith and resilience led him to transition into investment banking and eventually to found his own firm. Today, Vista Equity Partners manages over $77 billion in assets, making Robert one of the most successful black entrepreneurs in the financial industry. Robert's story is a powerful reminder that our path isn't always straight. But with faith as our compass, we can navigate any turn. His success challenges the notion that we have to have it all figured out from the start. Instead, it shows us that when we connect to something greater than ourselves, we find the courage to take risks, to pivot when necessary, and to persist in the face of setbacks. What strikes me about all these stories, Charlene's, Lillian's, Thasunda's, and Robert's, is how they all point to the same truth. Our greatest strengths often emerge when we connect to something greater than ourselves. They show us that faith isn't about passivity or waiting for miracles. It's an active force that propels us forward, that gives us the courage to take risks, to persevere when others might give up, to see possibilities where others see only obstacles. But here's the thing, this isn't just about individual success. It's about how we can transform our communities and our world. When we tap into this source of strength, we don't just change our own lives, we become catalysts for change in the lives of others. We become bridges, mentors, trailblazers. We create ripples that turn into waves of positive change. Now, I want to address something important. Embracing this perspective doesn't mean life suddenly becomes easy. Charlene's battle with cancer was still grueling. Lillian, Thasunda, and Robert all faced significant challenges and setbacks. But what changed was their capacity to face these challenges. Their faith gave them resilience, hope, and a sense of purpose that transcended their immediate circumstances. This brings me to a crucial point, self-care. Charlene emphasized the importance of taking care of ourselves, and I couldn't agree more. But I want you to think about self-care in a broader sense. Yes, it includes things like eating well, exercising, and getting enough rest. But true self-care also involves nurturing our spiritual and emotional well-being. It means taking time to cultivate our relationship with something greater than ourselves, whether that's through prayer, meditation, community service, or simply spending time in nature. When we prioritize this kind of holistic self-care, we're not being selfish. We're ensuring that we have the strength and resilience to not only face our own challenges, but to lift others up as well. We're filling our own cup so that we have something to pour into the lives of those around us. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, this all sounds great, but how does it apply to my life? I'm not fighting cancer. I'm not trying to break into Harvard Business School or become a CEO. And that's a fair question. But I want you to consider this. Every single one of us faces challenges. Every one of us has moments where we feel overwhelmed, where we question our ability to persevere, where we wonder if we have what it takes to achieve our dreams. Maybe you're a small business owner struggling to keep your doors open in a tough economy. Perhaps you're a single parent trying to balance work, childcare, and your own personal growth. You might be a student facing academic pressures and uncertainty about your future. Or maybe you're simply someone who feels stuck, unsure of your purpose or direction in life. Regardless of your specific circumstances, the principle remains the same. When we connect to something greater than ourselves, we tap into a wellspring of strength, resilience, and purpose that can carry us through any challenge. But how do we do this in practical terms? How do we cultivate this connection to something greater? Here are a few suggestions. First, take time for reflection and introspection. This could be through prayer, meditation, or simply quiet contemplation. The goal is to step back from the noise of daily life and connect with your deepest values and beliefs. Second, seek out community. Surround yourself with people who share your values and support your growth. This could be a religious community, a support group, or simply a circle of close friends who uplift and challenge you. Third, engage in acts of service. When we give of ourselves to others, we often find that we receive far more than we give. It connects us to a purpose beyond our own needs and reminds us of our capacity to make a positive impact in the world. Fourth, cultivate gratitude. Take time each day to acknowledge the blessings in your life, no matter how small. This practice can shift your perspective from scarcity to abundance and remind you of the greater context of your life. Finally, be open to growth and change. Our connection to something greater than ourselves often challenges us to step out of our comfort zones, to confront our fears and limitations. Embrace these challenges as opportunities for growth. As we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a challenge. I want you to reflect on your own life, your own struggles, your own aspirations. Where have you been relying solely on your own strength? Where might you benefit from connecting to something greater than yourself? I challenge you to take some time this week to nurture that connection. If you're a person of faith, maybe that means dedicating more time to prayer or studying your sacred texts. If you're not religious, perhaps it means reconnecting with your sense of purpose or with the community that gives your life meaning. Whatever it looks like for you, make it a priority. And here's the beautiful thing. As you do this, as you open yourself up to this source of strength, you'll likely find that it doesn't just help you overcome your own challenges. You'll find yourself better equipped to support others, to make a difference in your community, to be a force for positive change in the world. Remember, we're not meant to go through this life alone. We're not meant to rely solely on our own limited resources. There's a wellspring of strength available to us when we open ourselves up to something greater. And when we tap into that strength, there's no limit to what we can achieve. As Charlene so powerfully reminded us, through Christ, we can do all things, whether you share her specific faith or not. I encourage you to embrace the principle behind her words. Believe in something greater than yourself. Connect with it. Draw strength from it. And then use that strength not just to transform your own life, but to lift up those around you. In closing, I want you to imagine a world where each of us live from this place of connection to something greater. Imagine the innovation, the compassion, the solutions we could create. Imagine the barriers we could break, the lives we could transform. This isn't just a nice idea. It's a call to action. It's a challenge to each of us to live bigger, to dream bolder, to reach higher than we ever thought possible. It's an invitation to tap into a source of strength that can carry us through any storm and propel us to heights we've never imagined. So I ask you, will you accept this challenge? Will you dare to connect to something greater than yourself? Will you have the courage to let that connection transform not just your life, but the world around you? The choice is yours. But remember, you are capable of far more than you know. You have within you and around you a strength that can move mountains. All you have to do is reach out and connect to it. Thank you.